Markets are trying to bottom on the back of bank earnings. So let's jump in, take a look at what's going on. This is Bitcoin on the daily. So here's the news today. The Dow Jones finished up 1.86%, S&P up 2.65%, the NASDAQ up 3.4%. So what is going on? The strong bank earnings stocks rose sharply on Monday as key earnings report eased some fears from investors and oversold tech names, as some oversold tech names enjoyed a rebound rally. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up today. The 200-week moving average is a serious floor of support until companies fully confess or a recession officially arrives. So we will have to keep an eye on more earnings as they're reported, but the banks are showing the consumers are still strong. The banks are making money. And let's take a look at these moving averages. This is Bitcoin continuing to march along, finding a little bit of support on that 2017 all-time high, but hanging in that $19,000 to $20,000 range, or wicked down to 18,100 and had its wicked up to 19,941. So it hasn't touched 20 in a little while, a few days here now, about a week and a half, I guess. So continuing to watch Bitcoin kind of work its way along that 2017 all-time high, playing with that range. And of course, it's waiting on the market. So Bitcoin, if the markets can hold up, Bitcoin's going to hold up. If the markets take another leg down, when the Fed raises interest rates or something else happens in the markets that we're all keeping an eye on, that's when Bitcoin will take the next leg down. So we'll have to watch, wait, and see if that happens. It could hold. That's a possibility as well. So here's the Dow Jones above the 200-week moving average now. Wrestled with that line for a few days here. This is the Dow Jones on the daily. Here's NASDAQ, still below the 200-week moving average, but working its way back up. And here is the S&P above that 200-week moving average. So this is the 200-week moving average I'm showing on the daily chart here. We can go into the weekly price action. You can look at the S&P above it there. NASDAQ just below it. Dow Jones finding support above it. So the S&P and the Dow are above the 200-week. The NASDAQ is still below that 200-week moving average. So that's an important moving average for the markets to be honing in on. So are we trying to put a bottom in here? Are the markets trying to put a bottom in here? Or is this just a resting place for now? Definitely a good place to bounce, kind of like we saw here into that July-August rally. So could be setting up for a nice little rally here with some oversold conditions, these moving average tests, and then see if there's another leg down. Kind of like last time off of the back of the Fed hike, earnings reporting, the banks led the way, market bounced up into this area and maintained that momentum from really the bottom in June to the top in August. So that was June, July, August. So here we are now, the bottom in October. So could we get a bounce up into the end of the year? That is very possible. The banks want their bonuses, so they're going to do everything they can. Banks, hedge funds, investment funds, they all want to hit their bonuses, their end of the year quota, rebalancing, all that kind of stuff going on. So we have a lot going on the last quarter of the year. And of course, as we get into the end of the year, looking for that Santa Claus rally. So right now, everything is quiet. Bitcoin's hanging in there, major altcoins doing the same thing right now. All of the price action, I mean, charts aren't looking great on some of these. That's Cardano right there. Some of these charts are not looking good at all. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP had a nice little pop here and kind of hanging in this range here, trying to put in somewhat of a bull flag to continue up. We'll have to see if that happens, and we know what's going on there with XRP in terms of the lawsuit and everything that's happening. And if they get any kind of resolution there, XRP will be off to the races. Don't know about those crazy targets some people are looking at, but definitely could see it jumping up quite a bit. So that might be a good play for some people. So for now, we have more earnings coming out. Right now, the banks are leading the way. The markets are in a good spot for a nice little bounce to continue through the next week or so until we get into the first part of November when Fed's going to hike rates again. So I think right now the markets have worked their way into that rate hike. And as long as some of these other risks out there do not, pop their heads above the surface, like an escalation in Ukraine or credit markets freezing up or the bond market busting or something like that, The markets could try to put in some sort of a little bottom here and wait to see how earnings come out and the Fed rate. So these are the things I'm looking at. I'll see you in the next video.